like what this person is going through. And of course, like the thing I just heard is like, well, why wouldn't they think they could share that with me? You know, not everybody is like that. You know what I'm saying? And then depending on what step or stage y'all are in your partnership, because, you know, I'm not talking about people who like married and things, you know what I'm saying? But it depends on what step you are in this connection with this person, but not everybody is like that. It's like we would like to think that when people are going through struggles and you have a person who wants to be there for you and support you, you know, that you feel safe enough to be able to tell a person that, but not everybody is like that. And I even feel kind of bad, to be honest, to pry too much into it, because I feel if they're not telling you, that's their right to not tell you. So it's kind of like whether they're not giving you anything or just a little bit, I can tell you whatever this is that they're Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Virgo Crosswatchers only reading, my friends. If you're not familiar with what this reading is, because I haven't done it in buku long, and I'm still trying to figure out the intro on it, again, because I haven't done it for so long. This is a video that I do for my peoples out there who may be dating in a relationship or in a situationship with a person that is a Virgo. So if you are a Virgo, unless you're dating a Virgo, this video, my friend, would not be for you. You know what I'm saying? We're doing a little bit of lurking for good reason, not for any petty, messy tea or anything, but just to give you some clarity and some guidance in a situation that you may be in with said Virgo person. I'm sure as this goes along, I'm going to get better at that intro. But anywho, first three cards that are out. The first card that we have is the Sun in the reverse. The next card that we have is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. And then we have the Five of Pentacles, bittersweet, my friend. This is interesting. So CrossWatcher, if I were to just go off of what my first impression is here, looking at this Sun card, what it's looking like, and this is me just looking at you guys' energy for the time being, what this is looking like for me is you guys being in a connection with someone, right? Did I call y'all Virgo? I meant Crosswatchers, not Virgo, but Crosswatcher. It's more or less you guys being in a connection with someone or dealing with someone where there's a leg there of vulnerability of feelings or truth of feelings in the partnership or in the connection. And I feel in a sense, this leaves you guys in a place of being disempowered is what I feel. So if I were to kind of take a back step a little bit, and this can go back as far as, you know, however long it's been since I did these, but literally this would be a person that you're dealing with. And prior to dealing with this person, it's feeling very confident, very self-assured. Or if you're an artist or a creative in any way, shape, form, or fashion, it's having a great deal of like creative juices flowing, if you will. And meeting this person very well could have been your muse, you know, coming into the situation where this person was an inspiration to you of sorts, right? However, with this Five of Pentacles, and I do want to clarify this keeps happening. I'm not much of a clarifier, but I mean, after Leo, I had to take a nice little break for that. But this feels very much to me that there's some sort of gosh, it's making me think of Kanye West's poem, Bittersweet. You're gonna be the death of me. I love you and I hate you at the very same time. Look that up. There may be something there for you. But I feel in a sense that this connection has more or less disempowered you in a sense, because of course with the Sun card, we're looking at half-hearted happiness, but we're also, oh, good Lord, we're also looking at a lack thereof of vulnerability. Okay, don't fall. Okay. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Clarifying this Queen of Wands in the reverse, Crosswatcher person. We have the Melancholy card, we have the Child in the reverse, and we have the Room card. So here's the thing. With this room card, of course, it's speaking to this person being a safe space for you, but there's a lack of truth being told in this safe space. So here's the dealio. If you and this person, this Virgo person, if there's some sort of, I don't want to necessarily say breakup, but if there is, like lacking communication, a breakup, just some sort of distance that wasn't there before to where you feel like this person isn't being 100% truthful with you. The why behind this feeling of being disempowered or it's almost like I'm saying disempowered or losing your power, but I would really say that this goes to a feeling of like feeling rejected, you know? Because the cross-watcher would feel like there's more to this story, like there's more going on with this than I'm being told, because the way that things were prior to this, or the connection that the two of you had prior to this particular time frame, whenever that kind of, you know, fizzled out, right? Something changed with the person where suddenly they're holding back, they're not being 100% honest or truthful about what's going on, but it's almost like you sensing that there's something more going on with this, but that not, you know, being told to you. And I feel with this Queen of Wands in the reverse, and this is a couple of messages that are coming up with this, it's disempowering you in the sense of like, it's potentially feeling rejected or not feeling enough, or you know, is it because I gained weight? Do they not think that I'm pretty anymore? It's kind of internalizing it and thinking that it has something to do with you, why it is that this person kind of closed off from you in a sense, and is leading into this melancholy card, which is, of course, you know, sadness, depression, like beating yourself up and things of the sort. So with this child card, we can look at this a couple of ways. In one sense, this is a very promising connection that you had with this Virgo person where you thought it was going to go somewhere that was going to be happily ever after, and it kind of stalled out somehow. And where you guys stand at present is feeling as if it stalled out because there's a lack thereof of desirability on your end. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like this person feeling like a safe space or feeling like home to you, if you will. So it's kind of like being torn in between the two, which is what brings me to why that Kanye West poem would come up with this Five of Pentacles, because it's like a bittersweet kind of thing. It's like it's being cut off from the person, right? So it's like not being with them or them not being emotionally with you because there's some sense of distance between the two of you, but it's still desperately wanting that because this person is your safe space. Now, for very few of you, this could be a loss of a child. And I hate to say that, not saying that this is something that's going to happen, but this would be something that already happened. And the way that I see this loss of a child is a couple of different vibrations. So it's one, it's a woman who just can't have children. So it's either, you know, having trouble getting pregnant or having trouble keeping a pregnancy where it's like, you know, miscarriage type of deal. Or it could be a woman who's had like, what do you call it? Like getting your tubes tied, right? To where you can't have kids anymore. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for some of you, this could literally be having had a kid with this particular person and this like child passing away. You know what I'm saying? And that putting kind of strain on this partnership. And I feel like if we were to separate this into two different groups, if there's a group of you where it's a child, and God forbid, my condolences, you know, you guys lost a child, and this is like, it's almost like the two of you kind of iced each other out. That's something normal that happens in marriages when something happens to a kid, because sometimes one parent will blame themselves and they, you know, will kind of project it onto the other parent and feel like the other parent should hate them because they hate themselves so much and feel like they need to be punished. And they'll end up being like, you know, someone going ice cold and not opening up in that way. And other times there could be one or both parents that blame each other. You know what I'm saying? And I feel in a situation such as that, this would be something that, of course, you would want to go to therapy for, because it would be something difficult to try to work out on your own, because it's two sides of the story that need to be seen and both people need to hear each other out. You know what I'm saying? In that particular case. And that's what would kind of get you guys here. So that's one group. On the other side of this, if this is a cross-watcher who either can't have children, and I feel it's the same thing with the miscarriage kind of thing, but it feels more over into the second group, because it's like, if a person, you were with the Virgo person and you had a miscarriage, right? Like you lost a kid, or if you just can't have children, right? Or if you got your tubes tied and you can't have kids, it's almost like this feeling of disempowerment or not feeling desirable is very much tied to this inability to have a kid. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the thought of, it's almost like a crisis of one's femininity, right? So it's kind of like a pronatalist kind of vibe here, where a person's womanhood is very much intricately tied into one's ability to having children. Not saying that that's like the standard, but it would be like a personal value system, right? A feeling that one should be, a mother. And that's the true testament of a woman as being a mother. And it's either not being able to do that, just, for health reasons or what have you, or having miscarried. And then for the women who may have gotten their tubes tied and say you already have kids, that this person doesn't have any children with you. And it's like feeling a sense of insecurity, like I'm not enough because I can't give him that type of deal. So there's a little bit of that going on. And this sense of like feeling at home or security or stability or what have you would really be coming from this desire to bring a child into the situation, and feeling like that would complete the partnership. But you guys feeling as if something is wrong with you because you can't, right? However, with all of that said, I don't feel that that has anything to do with how this person is behaving. But at the same time, I feel like you guys are kind of, shutting down within yourself, because it's blaming yourself for whatever this is. And if it has nothing to do with any of that, and we're just talking about, like I said, a situation where it kind of fizzled out, you know what I'm saying? It's because there was no new beginning, right? Or things did not go to the level that you desired. Because I really feel like y'all wanted to like marry this person, is the vibes that I get from this. So the fact that it didn't go to that level yet, it's feeling as if you did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? That you did something wrong. And some of you, and I mean, this could be for some people, because you could look at the Queen of Wands, not necessarily as like a side chick, but she'll usually show up as like an ex-wife kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many messages, dude, because I feel a vibe with this where this could be like the whole loss of a kid thing, how that could be an ex-wife or a baby mama, right? To the Virgo person, and they lost a child. And because the Virgo dude that you're into, or Virgo female, whatever the case, is going back to the ex-partner for comfort because they lost a child type of thing, it's making you feel a way about that, like thinking that maybe they would go back. Or if it's an ex-wife that's kind of holding a kid over someone's head or something along those lines, and that being the whole issue of what's causing things to kind of stop or slow down, or why you're feeling on the outs of this partnership. So it's a couple of different ways I could see this, y'all. Hopefully, those make sense. I hope I did a good job at trying to illustrate those, but it's a bunch of different stuff I can see scenario wise. But big picture, the CrossWatcher is really feeling like the sun is setting, pun intended, on what they desired for this connection or for this partnership. And I feel like you guys are kind of shutting down, trying to self-protect before you really know what's going on, if that makes sense. Now, looking at your person of interests, your Virgo person's energy, the first card they have is the Four of Swords. So they are holding back from you. So that's the thing. They are not telling you the full truth about what it is that's going on here. And y'all already saw what all these scenarios that I have. If I were to sum it up, even for those of you where if you fall into either one of those two groups that I described, man, I'm stammering, y'all, because the energy that I'm literally feeling doing this, like I had to take a break after Leo because I felt like, oh my goodness. And it's making me think like, dang, is it because it's been so long since I did these, like all these messages are coming out like this? Because it feels like a deluge. Like that's what I feel behind me. It's like a whole tsunami that's hitting me with information. This is wild. Okay. So excuse me for taking deep breaths. It's not because I'm aggravated or nothing. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together, ground myself a little bit. But anywho, so with this Four of Swords, the person is holding back from you, and what they're holding back is the truth. Now, them not telling you this full truth is something that you're intuitively picking up on. It's like you feel that something is wrong. However, right? Or that something's amiss. However, I feel what you guys are thinking is the problem, or what you guys think is going on isn't really what's going on, because I feel this is very much related to your own insecurities. And this is where it comes into how spirit will always make stuff into a lesson, right? This person is holding back. Yes, they are. They're not telling you the full truth. We don't necessarily know why that is just yet. You know what I'm saying? And for some of you, this is literally talking about you guys being with a Virgo person and this person isn't sleeping with you. Like they're just not having sex with you. And it's internalizing it of like, am I not attractive anymore? You know, am I not sexy anymore? Did I gain too much weight? There's another little side message. You know what I'm saying? And that still kind of goes back to the kid thing where you're thinking like, oh, you know, is it because, you know, I can't have kids or I can't, you know, give them a child, and thinking that, you know, like there's something wrong with you because of that. I just really don't feel that that's what it is. But where this can come into something for you where you can heal a little something, because, you know, that's how spirit works. It's really looking at the stuff that's coming up. It's very similar to what I tell my clients a lot of times, or what I've said on YouTube, of when we speak of the invisible audience and we say they probably think I'm this, they're probably doing this because of this, they probably think that. It's like them is you, right? What you think they, the invisible audience, or them, whatever you think they and them think, is what you really think about yourself. It's how you really perceive yourself, right? Subconsciously, right? It's not a conscious awareness, right? But it's a form of a projection. So I would say, in reference to this, I would look at the things that are coming up for you guys, of all of the reasons why you're thinking that this person is pulling back from you. You know what I'm saying? But with them, they aren't telling you the whole truth of what's going on here. It's almost, I heard, need to know basis. They're treating this on a need to know basis. The next card is the Five of Swords, man. I mean, the High Priest is not here, so all is not lost. And I say that because looking at all these cards, the Four of Swords is saying to me that they're fully aware of what it is that's going on. They're just holding that back from you, right? With this Five of Swords and that being followed by this King of Cups, it's still reinforcing the same thing. Is understanding, like them being aware of the conflict this could be causing you, you know what I'm saying, or the anxiety that this could be causing you. But it's like the end justifies the means, if you will, which is why it's like I hear need to know basis, because it's whatever it is that your person is doing, right? it's like you don't, I'm trying to be touchy on how I say this. I don't want to say like, I'm not saying that you don't need to know, right? But their perspective on this is that you don't need to know, because whatever it is that your person's doing, you, my friend, I'm gonna try to find out for you. That's why we do these, you know, whatever it is that your person is doing, they don't feel that you need to know. And it's being aware that it can cause you conflict. I don't think that they're aware that it's causing you the level of distress that I'm seeing that it is. I don't think that they're thinking that much. I think they're thinking of a surface level, like they're probably wondering what's going on with me. And I know they probably don't like that, you know, we're not talking as much, but you know, they'll be okay because there's need to know basis. Whatever it is they have going on, they honestly don't feel that you need to know that fully. But the thing that I say is, in the meantime, for my CrossWatcher, it's imperative that you're, just for yourself, to be conscious of these insecurities. That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? For some of you, it's something about where you live at. Or if, like if you rent a room, or if you have a roommate, or something along those lines, or you live with your parents or something like that, like something about your living situation. It's like each of these are different insecurities. And if I were to say them, it's like one of them is like an inability to, you know, have children, right? Or having had a miscarriage with this particular person. With others of you, it's like your living situation. With others of you, I really think it's like actually like a diagnosis, like where, you may have been diagnosed with like anxiety disorder, or depression, or bipolar disorder. And it's kind of feeling a stigma with your own diagnosis and thinking, you know, that the person, when they found that out, it's like, you know, all of a sudden this stuff happened, and it's thinking that they're rejecting you because of that. So whatever these insecurities are that are coming up, these are coming up for a reason, for you guys to be able to see them. But that's why I say how spirit works in the midst of this, because whether we find out what's going on with your person of interest or not, you know what I'm saying? I look at everything like a double-edged sword. So spirit is working through people all the time. So even if we don't get the clarity, I was going to try on this Virgo person and what it is that's actually happening here, the important thing for you to walk away from this is being conscious of these insecurities that you're possessing within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that it has nothing to do with another person, but these are things about yourself that you feel insecure about, and those need to be addressed, if that's making sense. So let me clarify this Five of Swords, man. What is it that's going on? Milady. Oh my gosh, that's sickness. Wow. That's interesting. Wow. Okay. I just heard something. Dude, this is weird. Okay. How can I say this? Okay. Okay. That's a lot. All right. This ain't for everybody, but for some of your Virgo people, they're fighting some type of illness. What I specifically heard, I don't necessarily feel that this is for everyone, because, you know, the age range, you know what I'm saying? And it definitely wouldn't be that specific for every single, you know, Virgo male in America. But the specific thing that I heard was prostate cancer. That's what I heard. You know what I'm saying? But there's potentially, and I mean, and then if we were to pull this to the side, this very well could be a mental illness that someone is struggling with this Five of Swords and this clarifier. And I think that's interesting, where if we have, oh my gosh. This is so strange, y'all. I'm seeing a flash from an episode of Insecure. these readings are just so interesting. I'm seeing a flash from an episode of the show Insecure that comes on HBO. And it was about a guy. And I was about to say that with this melancholy card for the CrossWatcher, I was about to say that's interesting if this person were suffering with a mental illness, right? And the CrossWatcher person is struggling with the same thing. Well, not struggling, because I feel like you guys have it under control, but just telling the person your diagnosis and thinking that this person is rejecting you because of that. And it turns out that this person is struggling with the same thing type of deal. But it's a particular episode of Insecure I'm seeing in my head of one of the guys that Issa dated, and he just disappeared, right? And he ended up, I don't know, like going to jail or something because he beat up an Uber driver, but then he ended, it's a whole ordeal. But anyway, but he ended up finding out that he had bipolar disorder. And since he started taking his medication, he was good. And they ended up running into each other again. And she was asking, like, why did you ghost me? And he told her, like, the whole truth, and that he was trying to come to terms with the diagnosis and things of the sort. And that's literally the other vibe that I feel with this. So it's some sense of a battle that's putting them down, because even if it's not a literal, like, illness, sickness, downtrodden type of thing, it's almost like this person is like, they're almost depleted by this dude. Like, whatever it is that they're fighting, that they're keeping away from you, it's hella draining. But that's why it's on a need to know basis, because I feel, okay, well, that's a good thing. We have the gift card. Hallelujah. Thank you. We're looking at a time frame with this, and y'all may not be too happy about that. The gift in any of these little, little oracle cards, I know this card is in, what is it called? It's over there. What is it called? The Kipper. They have a gift card in the Kipper deck too. But the date for that goes to before Christmas. So if it's something that you're waiting to get clarity on, you guys will get clarity on the situation for this person. So what it is that they're holding back from you, and they're not being 110% honest about, you guys would get an answer in reference to it before Christmas, like getting the truth and the clarity about it. But this person is legit going through something, dude. And it can be a mental illness. It can be a literal sickness. I clearly heard prostate cancer. I really did. But it's really on a need to know basis. You know what I'm saying? And the most I can tell you in reference to that is the fact that this person is on a struggle bus. Like, it's something that they're really, like, battling with. It's something that they're really struggling with, but it doesn't have anything to do with you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, what this person is going through. And of course, like, the thing I just heard is like, well, why wouldn't they think they could share that with me? You know, not everybody is like that. You know what I'm saying? And then depending on what step or stage y'all are in your partnership, because, I'm not talking about people who like married and things, you know what I'm saying? But it depends on what step you are in this connection with this person. But not everybody is like that. It's like, we would like to think that when people are going through struggles and you have a person who wants to be there for you and support you, that you feel safe enough to be able to tell a person that. But not everybody is like that. And I even feel kind of bad, to be honest, to pry too much into it, because I feel if they're not telling you, that's their right to not tell you. So it's kind of like, whether they're not giving you anything or just a little bit, I can tell you whatever this is that they're battling with. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, It's a lot. It's something that has them afraid. You know what I'm saying? It's something that has them afraid for themselves, but it's not necessarily related to you, And I think even with them, it's a question of if they can fight through it, like if they're gonna make it through whatever this is, whether this is an illness or it's just something that's going on in their life, whatever it is, it's something where they're even questioning themselves, you know? So their perception towards you, or how they're perceiving you at this time, is with what it is that they're struggling with, is on a need to know basis. But with this King of Cups, again, even if they are expressing themselves to you, they're still not giving you the full gusto. Like, there's so much stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But the dope part about it is I can say that you'd have clarity before December. I know that's not necessarily something everybody would want to hear because it's August. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just kind of being left out in the cold on, in totality, what it is that's happening until this person decides that it's time for them to tell you. And I just have to say, with my own personal ethics, usually when the High Priestess comes up, that Spirit's way of telling me, like, none of your damn business. But literally just what I'm feeling within myself, I don't really feel right with prying too much into it, because I feel like it's, you know, some things should be sacred. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna see if I could pull an oracle card for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Out of my little, bringing back the old school, my little oracle deck that I made up myself out of all of my different oracle decks and things, to see if I can give you guys some clarity. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So if you want to tell this person, hey, I'm here for you, if you want to send them what do you call it? Those edible arrangements or something like that. If it's something that you were considering doing, like just letting the person know, like, hey, I understand, whatever, but just want to let you know, if you ever want to talk, you know, I'm here for you. You know, you ever need a listening ear, I'm here for you, type of deal. I think it would be cool to do that, or, you know, to send them a little edible arrangement or something along those lines, you know, if that's something that's kind of been on your heart. Now, if it hasn't, I wouldn't say to make it be, you know. I feel that's really in the sense of, if you've been feeling like, and I wouldn't even say expressing your love in the sense of like, please don't leave me, you know I love you type of deal. But just really, like, there's some of you who are more privy to the situation, like if somebody lost a kid or something like that, it's just, you know, giving your condolences and your support in that sense. Now, what I'm about to do, my friend, is go over to my network to do you guys extended. In the extended, I'm going to look at how this person thinks as well as feels about you, to give you some additional guidance in reference to that, my loves. But I hope that this has helped. CrossWatcher, these readings are interesting, dude. This is the whole nother vibe, child. But I love your face. If you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. Interesting.